What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus More Phenomenal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider news and reviews right here on our YouTube page. It is I, your More Phenomenal host, Adam Perez, back once again, kicking off your Saturday the correct way as we're going live, not only on YouTube, but also on our Facebook page as well, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much, guys, for definitely joining us today. We got a ton of topics that we're going to be breaking down for you guys. A lot to do with Dino Fury, whether that be its wrap-up schedule for filming. We've got it coming to Netflix here rather soon for season 1. We're going to be talking about it also going over to France here within the next month as well. And we got a ton of other news for you guys today also. So outside of that, we're also going to be tackling your guys' live viewer questions as we usually do each and every weekend, guys. So if you do have any live viewer questions, submit them over right now to aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. Again, aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. You can go ahead and submit them at any time during the week, guys, and we'll definitely go ahead and get to your questions at the end of the show, just in case if for some reason I happen to miss them in the comment section. I think we actually have quite a few already sort of lined up in our email account, so we'll go ahead and bring those up towards the end of the show. But let's see who's in the chat here with us. We got Johnny Marrero in the house. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you in here as always. Adrian, my brother from another mother, certainly coming through. We got Power Rangers Legacy in here. He says, you know what time it is. It's Morphin time, kicking off this Saturday, May 22nd. I can't believe that we're actually almost into June. The fact that almost half the year has gone by has been pretty crazy to me, to be honest with you. We got Adam Perea in the house. What's up, Adam? Appreciate you stopping by today. Edward Sanchez Productions certainly in the house. We got AJ in here. He says, say it, please. It's been 2 weeks. Dino Knights, fight for your rights. Yeah, no, I'm kind of glad. I feel like the more that I say it, I'm glad that that's not their slogan. Sonny Shields, what's up, Sonny? Good to see you in here as well. Definitely. He says, I'm kind of hoping that France doesn't hiatus just so we can get sweet episodes a little early. Well, we'll definitely talk about that today for you guys also. We got Doomsday in the house, and we got JB says, what? In here also, man. So thank you very much, JB, for certainly swinging by and joining us today. And of course, if we have any stragglers that wind up joining us as this episode continues, definitely go ahead and make them feel welcome as always, and make them feel a part of the family, guys. Yeah, man, this is going to be a great week, I think. Really looking forward to a couple things. I feel like the pandemic is lifting very slightly. I feel like I've been seeing more ads for comic book conventions and gatherings than I have ever in quite some time. So it feels pretty good to know that I'm fully vaccinated and hopefully get the opportunity to start going out to some of these conventions. If not by the end of this year, then hopefully next year. You know, one of the big things that we used to love doing on here is recording panels for you guys, whether that be Power Rangers, whether that be celebrities from other shows from like Marvel and DC, whatever the case may be. A couple of that stuff we'll probably put on our A+ Hero Report page. But I definitely want to get back to going out to some Power Ranger panels and just hearing some of our Rangers talk and getting some insight on their time and some shows. So once conventions start actually, building back up and people start going to them a little bit more, we probably will be having some Power Ranger panels here for you guys to certainly check out. Because I used to, I definitely will be attending Power Morphicon next year for sure. I know we have Power Morphicon online here this June that we're certainly going to be looking forward to. I would be curious to see how many panels they're going to be having. I'm assuming, if anything, probably on their YouTube page, perhaps maybe pre-recorded. We'll see what happens here. But for me, I'm really eager for some conventions to come back here to Dallas, Texas, or the surrounding area, if you will. I didn't even just always go to conventions out here in the DFW area. I mean, I would definitely travel to like San Antonio, Austin, maybe Houston from time to time to go ahead and check out some other Power Ranger panels at conventions and record them and have them up here for you guys. So we'll see what happens by the remainder of this year. If we've got some conventions that are pretty nearby, maybe I'll try and take a stab at checking them out and seeing what type of extra content we could definitely go ahead and continue to bring you guys. So definitely something to certainly look out when it comes to our page. Who else we wind up having in here? We got Noah Cummings in the house. What's up, Noah? Appreciate you coming by. And JB says, I'm ready for Power Morphicon 2022. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm definitely looking forward to Power Morphicon this year, but there's nothing like going in person and actually having the cast there and things like that. So Power Morphicon 2022 will definitely be the year that I certainly attend. So start saving up your pennies, guys. I would love to bump into some of you guys out there if you ever get the opportunity to do so. And now that we're past through the pandemic, I think this is probably even more reason for people to go out there and celebrate and go out to a convention if they certainly haven't before, because we almost got something taken away from us for an entire year and we went effing crazy. So I think you guys would absolutely love it if you make a convention here sometime this year or next year. So definitely go ahead and enjoy it to the fullest. But guys, let's go ahead and start getting into some of the news here, because when it comes to Power Rangers Dino Fury, June is going to be a very, very big year for the franchise, or a month for the franchise, as to certainly say. We'll definitely get into the Netflix news here in a little bit, but I want to talk about the idea of Power Rangers going to France. That's right, guys. Dino Fury is about to hit France rather soon. I believe it's going to be like June 5th through the 7th, if I'm not mistaken, for some of the streaming services or channels that they have over there in France. So yeah, Power Rangers Dino Fury is certainly going to be making its rounds. I believe right now on some of the channels like Julie, Canal G, Canal J. I do believe that they already have like Ninja Steel and Beast Morphers and things like that already up there. So the idea of Power Rangers being over in France is certainly no stranger to them, but this is definitely going to be their first time getting the opportunity to dabble in some Dino Fury for the very first time. And it's been some really big announcements. I know some people over on Twitter have been thrilled about this, especially if you live out in France, getting the opportunity to finally see Dino Fury and really see what everybody's been talking about here, certainly in the States. And so while, you know, for me, this I don't want to say it sounded an alarm, but it did make me a little bit worried when I heard that Dino Fury was going to France, because a part of me was under the impression that maybe, just maybe, we were going to start getting international spoilers already. But that's not necessarily the case when it comes to this particular announcement. So I did see this announcement actually on Twitter. Let me go ahead and pull this up here for you guys real quick. So this is where I saw the announcement from. I believe it was the A Games 10 that brought this to my attention. And so I actually went to the Twitter site itself for Julie and translated it. So here's the translate for the tweet. It says, great preview on Julie and Canal J. The Dino Fury generation is coming to France for the first time for an exceptional program. And then it gives you some highlights here. Unfortunately, these highlights are in French, but I did actually find a website that was able to translate what I wind up getting. I went to let me see. Did I go to this gentleman's website? Yes, I went to his website. He has a WordPress.com. He's over in France, I believe. This is what the exclusive report from him directly states. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull this one up also, so we can go ahead and break that down a little bit further to really get the details about what's going on when it comes to France. So this is the website. It is an exclusive report. It says Power Rangers Dino Fury also lands on Julie. And then it winds up giving us the first couple of synopsis episodes, but mind you, it only gives us a synopsis for the first 5 episodes. It does say here that the 5th and 6th of June, Canal J and Julie offer a more phenomenal weekend with 2 days of nonstop Power Rangers. So they're celebrating Power Rangers for 2 days straight. So we've got on Canal J, it says from Saturday, June 5th through Sunday, June 6th, they offer a unique weekend with the broadcast of Power Ranger seasons Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge, 36 hours of nonstop Power Rangers. But then we get to, when it comes to Julie on Sunday, June 6th, it says for the first time in France, again, this is Sunday, June 6th, fans will exclusively discover the first 4 episodes of the 28th season of Power Rangers Dino Fury. So on June 6th, beginning at 4 p.m., they're going to have back-to-back 4 episodes of Dino Fury as they get the opportunity to finally watch it. So they are not even getting a full season according to this exclusive article here. It looks like they're only getting the first 4 episodes of Dino Fury for Julie. Again, that's Julie, Sunday, June 6th. Now, Channel J or Canal J, it says Power Rangers preview Dino Fury from June 7th, Monday to Friday at 6 p.m. to discover each evening a new episode of the new generation. So while, again, Julie is going to be having just one day of Dino Fury, 4 straight episodes, Channel J from Monday through Friday, beginning June 7th, will have a new episode of Dino Fury each and every day. So that would be, it's the reason why we have the synopsis for 5 episodes, because Channel J will be showing 5 episodes. Kind of interesting that Channel J is showing 5 episodes, but Julie's only showing 4. Feels like Julie got the butt end of this deal, unfortunately. But listen, France is getting the opportunity to check out Dino Fury for the very first time, which I think is exciting. I think based off of just all the uproar and the support and all the positive talk when it comes to Dino Fury of what we've seen here in the States, I'm just thrilled that somebody else internationally will certainly get the opportunity to go ahead and check out this show. So again, when it comes to them going to France, it doesn't seem as though we're going to have to worry about international spoilers as of right now, at least, because they are only going to be getting the opportunity to watch the first 4 to 5 episodes of Dino Fury. I am kind of curious as to why it is that they're not getting the entirety of the season, but we'll definitely have to see. Again, I don't know what the licensing deal is between Hasbro and Julie or Channel J or whatever the case certainly may be there. But interesting stuff and interesting development. So I am really excited to see what they wind up coming up with when it comes to this. And I really would be paying attention to France, especially on those dates that the show actually airs. I probably will be looking out for some Dino Fury news, or not news, but Dino Fury comments, maybe some hashtags, just to see how France is certainly loving the new season of Dino Fury, since this is going to be their first time getting the opportunity to check it out. Let's see here. The A Games 10 says Canal J is only airing the first 6 episodes before going back to episode 1. It's actually the first 5 episodes, according to the exclusive report here for Channel J, Monday through Friday, beginning June 7th. But yeah, so they definitely will at least begin the beginning half. So I am curious to know. I mean, they probably will be doing repeats maybe after that, and then hopefully we'll see what happens when it comes to the remainder of season 1 for Dino Fury, where that certainly will be released. Will France still happen to get it before we do? Is that something that we certainly still have to worry about, especially with Dino Fury going over the Netflix? We'll definitely have to see when that winds up hitting later on in the months. But guys, if you are in France, and if you do watch us over in France, my international friends, I definitely am looking forward to seeing some of your reactions and hearing some of your thoughts in regards to what you guys think about Dino Fury so far. So yeah, it's going to be here before they know it, June 5th, June 6th, and June 7th. Over in France, so should be a good time. But guys, listen, I want to know your thoughts. I know some of our viewers aren't in France. We're here in the States, but are you excited for some of the international fans of Power Rangers to get their glimpse of Dino Fury as well? So I'm really pumped and really thrilled to see how they're putting this all together. Honestly, let's see here. All right, next topic, just talking about the idea of a big June, if you will, when it comes to Power Rangers. Power Rangers season 1 is in fact going to be moving to Netflix as well, guys. This is something that we talked a little bit about earlier on this week. We actually did go ahead and do an individual video in regards to it that has been brought to our attention that this June 15th, that Dino Fury season 1, episodes 1 through 8 certainly will be dropping on Netflix. Now, I've had some people just comment on the idea that it's not confirmed that it's episodes 1 through 8. I can't imagine that it's an entirety of a season based off of the fact that when it comes to Hasbro Nickelodeon, they still do have their contract for the remainder of 2021. So all those new episodes, if I'm not mistaken, have to air on Nickelodeon probably first before they actually get to Netflix themselves. So yeah, I'm still very much under the impression that this is just going to be episodes 1 through 8 when it comes to Dino Fury season 1. We do know that even Chance Perez himself did mention season 1 was in fact going to be on Nickelodeon. along with Dino Fury Season 2 being moved over to Netflix. And so I'm very much under the impression that that is in fact true, that that is in fact happening. So when you look at this news, this shouldn't come as a surprise that Netflix will be releasing Dino Fury Season 1 there. I think where the big surprise comes is the fact that it's coming as early as it usually is, right? I think we're very much under the impression that when it comes to Netflix releases of Power Rangers, it usually takes several weeks, if not a couple of months after the new season or the follow-up, the second half of a season has certainly already begun airing, right? So the idea of being able to catch up to a season before it returns has really been rather non-existent, I feel like, when it comes to Power Rangers for quite some time. But it definitely feels as though a lot of that is certainly going to change. So this week, guys, we wind up getting news that Dino Fury Season 1 is coming to Netflix. This is coming from a pretty reputable site in cineblend.com. I want to say, like, usually each and every month, they usually will go ahead and release just a Netflix release schedule to keep people up to date as to what's coming for Netflix. Netflix necessarily isn't always the best when it comes to promoting what's certainly coming and things like that. So they usually, if anything, I would assume they usually will put out these this information to certain websites. So cineblend.com is in fact showing here that when it comes to Netflix, if we scroll down for the month of June, they give you premiering on Netflix for a certain week. We keep going. It says the week of June 13th, right here, you see Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 1 dropping June 15th. Of this year as well. So now, granted, it doesn't say Season 1 episodes 1 through 8, but based off of the fact that those are the only episodes that have in fact been released so far, it certainly makes sense for it to be episodes 1 through 8. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get here. Look, I've already rewatched the season before, honestly, on my own, but I honestly would not mind revisiting it at all. And so I've enjoyed the season immensely, to be perfectly honest with you guys. So for me, when I think of this, though, while I am thrilled that this is coming to us a lot earlier than we expected, for me, this is a great opportunity for fans who haven't been able to keep up with Nickelodeon. Maybe you don't necessarily have Nickelodeon and you're a cable cutter. You've been hearing great things about Dino Fury, but would like to get invested. I think this is a great opportunity to go ahead and certainly check out the first 8 episodes of the season. And who knows, maybe, for me, even though I don't necessarily have Nickelodeon, I do pay a little bit extra for, was it Philo TV? I can't remember how much I was dropping. Was it $12 a month, maybe $13 a month? But I was able to go ahead and watch every episode of Dino Fury on there. It allows you to have like live television access to some cable channels, and it also works as a DVR for you as well. So like for me, even though I wasn't able to get up all the time at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch it live, if I were to get up at say 8 o'clock, it was already available to me on my DVR, so I can go back and watch it as many times as I certainly wanted to. So there are definitely ways to go ahead and check out Dino Fury, even if you don't necessarily have Nickelodeon. So if you do want to catch up to Dino Fury before it returns, this is certainly your opportunity. So I'm really pleased to see that Netflix is learning from this, because for me, one of the biggest issues that I've always had and I've never understood is the idea of not wanting to put your content out there before your season comes back, especially when Power Rangers has such a very extended hiatus. I feel like it's longer than most shows usually have to go through. And if there's one thing that we've always seen throughout the years is the decline in viewership after this monstrous sort of hiatus. So one of my suggestions has always been the idea, like, if you want to keep viewers around, put that content out there, right? Whether that be Nickelodeon airing Dino Fury on repeat for people to catch up on, putting this stuff to Netflix earlier so people can just binge and catch up. It might wind up actually bringing in more return viewers and maybe some new viewers who have had the opportunity to check out your show during this hiatus, if you will. So I'm glad that Hasbro has paid attention to this, has been looking at, I'm assuming, some of their analytics and realizing like we need to keep some of our viewership around. So I think this is a great opportunity for that to happen. And for me, this is honestly the beginning of maybe a new Netflix deal. Like I would be interested to know what the parameters are of a Hasbro and Netflix deal. The fact that you're bringing Dino Fury season 1 to Netflix rather early, for me, backs up the notion of season 2 premiering on Netflix as well. And the reason why I say this is, for me, this is a great opportunity to get all the past Dino Fury episodes up onto Netflix as quickly as you possibly can, so that once you do drop episode 2 or season 2, then everybody can just have all the episodes rightly available to them. So I'm assuming the same thing will probably happen once the second half of season 1 wraps up. I wouldn't be surprised if within a month or a month and a half, if the remainder of those episodes are put up onto Netflix before, but anytime before at least Power Rangers winds up returning for its second season. So again, I do think that this is a showcase that maybe Netflix and Hasbro has in fact made some sort of deal, not only to bring Dino Fury to Netflix earlier and for its second season, but a part of me is actually really hoping that this is another way for them to show that, maybe they want to continue to work with Netflix, right? The idea of maybe bringing other content to Netflix from Hasbro and Power Rangers, whether that be an animated series, whether that be something from Jonathan Entwistle. I do think that this is at least a peek into the idea that Hasbro and Netflix are at least working rather closely together as of right now. So, if anything, I do expect Power Rangers to maybe be on other streaming services as well. I think Hasbro has mentioned the idea very much of licensing some of their content out to various different streaming services that's certainly needed. I mean, we are in streaming wars right now, so content is king. Everybody needs some of the best content out there to try and, stay in the top 3, whether that be Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Amazon, whatever the case may be. Everybody certainly wants to be the best, so they're going to need some of the best content out there. And I think Hasbro certainly has it in regards to being able to, just dabble in different streaming services and allow certain ones to definitely have some Power Ranger content. So while I definitely don't think everything Power Ranger related is certainly coming to Netflix, I definitely do think that some things will certainly continue to remain on Netflix. So who knows? Maybe this is going to be maybe the future home for the kids series for Power Rangers. Maybe Jonathan Entwistle stuff maybe goes someplace else. Who certainly knows? But I am looking towards this as a sign that Netflix and Hasbro certainly are working together for a bigger picture when it comes to Power Rangers. So I'm eager for this. I'm definitely going to go ahead and check out Dino Fury once it winds up dropping June 15th. Once again, who knows? Maybe we'll do ourselves another watch along for Power Rangers Dino Fury, even though we've already seen this season several times, or at least I certainly have. But if you guys want to go ahead and go down memory lane with me and rewatch season 1, I'm game for it, guys. I'm game for it. But I want to know what you guys think. Again, June is going to be a big season, a big month for Power Rangers. June 15th coming to Netflix. June 5th, 6th, and 7th coming to Julie along with Channel J over in France. So yeah, I think my Twitter feed is going to be blowing up coming June in regards to Dino Fury. But I want to know what you guys think. How excited are you for the first half of season 1 to go ahead and drop on Netflix? Do you think that this means a bigger picture towards the partnership between Hasbro and Netflix? Like I certainly do. I definitely want to go ahead and know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. Let me see what some of you guys are saying here so far. Yeah, the A Games 10 is referencing October is usually when the first episodes will usually go on this service. So this came as a surprise to me. Yeah, and I think it came to a surprise to us also, the fact that it was going to get there so early. But I think, again, the fact that it is getting there earlier instead of us having to wait, I think it's just a sign of how much things are changing behind the scenes. And for me, I think this is Netflix preparing to get Dino Fury Season 2 on there instead of waiting so late in the season, if you will, to finally get that right. Because if they have to wait, if Netflix literally had to have wait to October to drop, I mean, can you imagine the idea of like Dino Fury Season 2 dropping on Netflix in like March or whatever the case may be, and they don't even have the second half of Season 1 up on Netflix? So you got episodes 1 through 8 of Season 1 and then the entirety of Season 2. There's absolutely no way. So I do think that this is just paving the way Fury for Netflix to have all their content of Dino Fury up there before season 2 winds up dropping sometime next year. So it should be interesting. It should be interesting. The A Game 10 also says I did see that Canada is also getting Dino Fury season 1 on their Netflix as well. So yeah, guys, it's definitely going around internationally. But I am kind of curious to know if there are any other international places that have already seen Dino Fury, or France is like France and Canada are really going to be the first outings of this show internationally. I am kind of curious. Let's see here. AJ says, I hope we get the overseas spoiler episodes for the rest of Dino Fury season 1. I myself don't want to wait until Christmas for first season to end. We know we will get another short hiatus in the fall. Well, I mean, my thing is when it comes to international spoilers, I mean, I guess I could always rewatch the episodes when they come back on Netflix. Come back on Nickelodeon. But I wonder if some people just watch the international spoilers and then just don't watch it. Don't watch the remainder of the season at all. And I feel like then have to still wait an exorbitant amount of time for season 2. So for me, I almost rather just wait for the new episodes to drop. You guys know around here, I'm not the biggest spoiler guy. I really like to kind of watch my episodes live when they air, type of thing, and share those kind of moments with you guys. So I'm sure once the international spoilers start, probably somewhere right around this corner will be a big Dino Fury no spoiler sign going up again, similar to how we did when it came to Beast Morphers last year. But listen, some people certainly don't mind spoilers. If you certainly don't mind spoilers, then I definitely get it. But for me, I gotta wait. I gotta wait. And Johnny Marrero says, honestly, I can't wait for season 2 of Dino Fury for Netflix. Yeah, me either. I'm really eager for it. I mean, granted, I'm still very much eager for the second half of Dino Fury on Nickelodeon. But for me, I think when it comes to it being on Netflix, um, for me, it's just the idea of something new and fresh that we're tackling, right? And if anything, when it comes to season 2, I would be really interested to see how they're going to release it. I'm kind of under the impression that maybe they might go either weekly. If they don't go weekly, I'm still thinking we'll probably get them separated into 2 parts, maybe dropping the first 8 episodes all at once, if you will, maybe dropping the first 3 episodes at once, and then maybe a weekly after that for the first part. Who certainly knows? I feel like Amazon does that from time to time, or HBO Max dropping chunks of a season and then, weekly episodes after that. So we'll see what happens when it comes to how Netflix decides to do their release schedule. But the release schedule and just the idea of it being someplace else really gets me excited, honestly. Doomsday says June is officially Power Rangers month. Yeah, I would probably say maybe Dino Fury month. But yeah, definitely a big month for Dino Fury and for other people to get their eyes on the content as well. Noah Cummings says, I think the non-kid show will go on Netflix in 2023. I'm still waiting to hear how far along the progress is. Like for me, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe a little bit of a hiatus between shows. Like for me, I am kind of curious if once 2022 wraps up its season of Dino Fury, I'm hoping by then we have some information in regards to when the movie's going to be dropping. So yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that 2023 will in fact be that time period when we wind up getting brand new Power Ranger content. Power Rangers Legacy. What if Hasbro told us, screw you, we were signing with Nickelodeon for another decade after seeing Chance's announcement? Well, I will say this. If Chance's announcement certainly was wrong and Hasbro sees people running with this Chance's announcement, I would hope that Hasbro would certainly come out and make a correction saying like, no, we didn't mean that. No, that's actually not happening type of thing, just to kind of course correct because of the fact that Chance's announcement kind of unleashed a barrage of people and out making that announcement sort of thing. But again, I feel like I do feel like based off of what we've seen so far, some of the announcements that we've gotten, I do feel like there is something to what Chance Perez certainly said. So that would be pretty crazy, honestly. But I would hope that maybe if that was the case, that Hasbro would certainly come out and say something as a correction. But who knows? Who knows? Blossom, what's up, Blossom? Good to see you in here as well. Thank you very much for certainly stopping by today. And with that, guys, I think if anything, we'll probably move on to our next topic for the day. We'll probably go ahead and actually continue to keep it within Power Rangers here real quick, especially when it comes to Dino Fury, because you know what? It's that time of the week, guys, where Simon Bennett says something that we got to recognize and pay attention to here this week. So I'm really pumped. What's up, Simon? It's so good to have you back, man. Anytime that you're on here, I think you just provide great content, honestly. So what's up? High five? No, not again. Okay, no problem. Anyway, getting back to the news here, guys. We wind up having some information in regards to when Dino Fury might actually be wrapping up some filming. So let's go here and see what Simon Bennett has to say in regards to this. Because last week we talked a little bit about the idea that Simon Bennett had been, he revealed to us on his Instagram that they were doing the last table read together as a team going through their episodes. But this week, it was the Power Rangers Ready did go ahead and mention maybe a little early that's a wrap on Power Rangers Dino Fury. While the show is officially done filming, we still have the rest of season 1 and a full season 2 to look forward to. And then Pukina, Simon Bennett himself, did make the correction here that they still actually have another 6 days of filming to go. So hasn't officially wrapped as of yet, but certainly is in the process of doing so. But yes, Simon Bennett himself has at least clarified to us that yes, still another 6 days of filming to go. So it should be interesting. Now, I'm assuming if anything, maybe the crew is ready to start packing up and start heading home. I believe Tessa Rao on her Instagram, I think she probably posted like a big thank you to the crew and things like that, really highlighting people and like a little bit of a little video that she wind up kind of putting together with background music and things like that. So yeah, everybody's certainly in the feels, rather emotional with the season unfortunately being wrapped up when it comes to filming. I'm sure, even though they have 6 days of filming left to go, Simon Bennett will probably still be at work doing a ton of post-production, making sure the ADR comes together, special effects, music composition, as he winds up putting together the last bit of episodes and seasons for Dino Fury. So yeah, still 6 more days filming to go. I mean, I guess technically what? 5. It is Saturday. Do they work on the weekends? I absolutely have no idea. But it should be interesting to see what Simon Bennett definitely has in store for us. So it's going to be sad, unfortunately, to kind of see this this series depart, if you will. We've had such fun with the crew and just this show in general. But I will say, Power Rangers Ready on Twitter definitely did make it a point that, look, we still have all of season 1, half of season 1 and all of season 2 to certainly continue to look forward to. And I'm pretty sure after the cast and crew kind of wrap up, I'm sure there's plenty of behind the scenes content that they'll probably go ahead and showcase to us, whether that be filming, whether that just be pictures of them in their adventures over in New Zealand. So definitely make sure you're following everybody on social media as they wind up saying their farewells and their thank yous and posting some behind the scenes stuff. So it may be rather emotional for them, especially after just a stellar season that they've put together. I almost feel like that's every case when it comes to Power Rangers. I feel like Beast Morphers also, when they wind up wrapping, they did similar things as well. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing what they are going to go ahead and put together. So Simon Bennett still hard at work. Dino Fury is certainly not finished, almost certainly there, but we definitely have a lot to go when it comes to being a viewer. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what else Simon Bennett's going to post for us. But listen, I want to know your guys' thoughts. How do you guys feel about Dino Fury coming to a close, almost getting ready to go ahead and wrap up its filming? Again, Simon Bennett does have extra work to do behind the scenes before those episodes are actually ready to air. But I feel like, they talk about how long has it been? 8-9 months maybe for filming for 2 seasons, just based off of how much they actually work. I feel like some of their filming hours can go rather long. Just the idea of them just spending so much time in the filming process for Power Rangers. I'm wondering how long those 8 or 9 months certainly felt for the entire cast and crew, just there in general. But I'm eager to go ahead and hear from them in regards to their thoughts of how filming certainly went. And if anything, I'm really eager to see like what the future holds for a lot of these actors. Going back to Beast Morphers, I see Abraham. He was on the Saved by the Bell season 1, if I'm not mistaken. So I think like he definitely has a lot of stuff planned in his career, I'm sure. But I am kind of curious to see what everybody else is going to be into. Liana Ramirez, she eventually went on to star in another movie, I believe Starlight. She went on to become an author and writing her first book as well. So she's got big things happening in her life also. So I am curious to see like out of this crew, out of this cast, I should certainly say, what the future is going to hold for them. So after wrapping happens for Dino Fury, it should be interesting to see what they, what other opportunities certainly open up for a lot of these characters, for a lot of these actors. So we'll definitely see, guys. But Simon Bennett, keep up the excellent work so far. Really eager to see when Dino Fury's the second half of season 2 returns, and we'll see what we have in store for us. Let's see here. Who else we wind up getting? Blossom says, once again, Simon is a better Saban than Saban himself. Am I right? Yeah, yes, I would definitely agree with you there. Don't know if Simon Bennett has the same type of money that Saban certainly does. But when it comes to creativity and just truly understanding what it means to make a season of television, yeah, definitely Simon Bennett. AJ says, sorry, Adam. I sometimes cringe when you bring out Simon Bennett's picture on the show. I mean, I do it to make it a little bit awkward because he's really not here. So I'm just talking to myself. But this is me trying to pump myself up that one day, that Simon Bennett picture, it's going to be real. He's going to be a real person standing there one day. Datilla, what's up, Datilla? Appreciate you coming through as always. Adrian does say, I think it kind of sucks that Zordon Fight can't see his episode debut while still in New Zealand. He has to wait back home in the States. Yeah, he's going to definitely by the time he gets home, like he will literally have wrapped his whole entire shoot and not have seen himself in an episode here in the States. That's kind of crazy to me. Like he literally will have wrapped his shooting, come back home to New Zealand, and will have to wait just like the rest of us for his episode to actually pop up. So that's kind of crazy. I've like when it comes to the is that the situation that it's always like with all the 6 Rangers? That's got to be miserable. Like I mean, I'm sure Zordon Fight appreciates an opportunity when an opportunity lands in his lap. I mean, this guy has 1 million subs over on TikTok, but the idea of being on a Power Rangers show, Dino Fury, while I'm sure he probably would have loved to have revealed himself a lot sooner or seen himself, if you will, on the show, I'm pretty sure he's not complaining about the amazing opportunity that he has been provided with, going over to New Zealand, seeing a beautiful country, being on a long-running television series for kids, making a bunch of just new friends in general. I'm pretty sure Zordon Fight certainly probably might looks at the situation a little bit differently than we certainly do. But again, for me, I don't know how they did it. Like, I don't know how Zordon Fight does it. Because for me, I would have just gone stir crazy already. Like, can I just be in somebody's picture? Can somebody just please reveal that I'm here, please? Just keep me in one picture. Stop cropping me out of stuff. But yeah, he's probably literally gonna have to wait to watch his episode when he comes back. Um, Blossom, is that a glare? Or did your glasses fog up? It's a glare. It's a glare. Tatilla says, Adam, did you get your Power Ranger shoes? I have not. I have not. You know, I think it was for the fact that I was so bummed that Fan First Friday didn't take the opportunity to shout out Reebok and the collaboration that Power Rangers and Reebok certainly had, that I didn't even, I almost forgot about the fact that they wind up releasing. They released on May 15th, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe if there's a Reebok website, maybe I'll have to see if they do, because if they do and they're somewhat affordable, I might have to check it out. Doomsday says, I forget that Power Rangers doesn't air in New Zealand. Yeah, I forget too. You would think that they would now, because of the fact that the show is more kid friendly than I feel like than it's ever been. I mean, I get the idea in the past of it maybe not having been on airing in New Zealand, just due to maybe where Saban and Disney wind up taking it back in the day. But it definitely feels as though I don't want to say it's been dumbed down, but it's definitely been watered down over the years to be more kid friendly. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they still don't air it over in New Zealand. Let's see this. Jaden says, when will International air? Well, for it to air on France, at least, the first 5 or 6 episodes in France is going to be June 5th through the 7th on Julie and Canal J. But as far as the actual new episodes internationally, those have not been released yet. So we'll see. All right, guys. Blossom says, Reebok making shoes for Power Rangers. I'm still shocked to the maximo about that. Yeah, me too. I didn't see it coming, but I definitely will say, if anything, see if Reeboks.com might have them up there or not, because I'm really looking forward to maybe getting me a pair if possible. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic today. And this topic, we're going to go ahead and jump into some Boom Studios talk for you guys, as we actually have a rather early preview hitting us for Mighty Morphin when it comes to Mighty Morphin issue number 10. Now, this issue certainly isn't out until August, but I think the fact alone that this is going to be a huge Zordon issue, I think is making its rounds now to go ahead and get people hyped and pumped for certainly what's to come, because so pumped, in fact, that even comicbook.com had to do an interview with Ryan Parrott and the artist for issue number 10 of Mighty Morphin, with Ryan Parrott and Dan Mora, who's going to be doing guest artwork on the series, on that episode. So I'm really pumped to see Dan Mora return. He's actually been one of my favorite Power Ranger artists that we definitely have since I've been reading Power Ranger comic books. Him and Simone de Niculo have always been really impressive when it comes to Power Ranger artwork. So the fact that Dan Mora is back, I'm a big fan. If you guys aren't checking out, listen, Dan Mora is somebody who I first came across in Power Rangers. I don't know if that's where he initially got his start or if he was doing things prior to Power Rangers, but I feel like people have started to certainly recognize his work a lot more. He's been working a ton for DC. He's recently been doing artwork for Batman Detective Comics, as he's the new artist on that series, and he's been doing some amazing work in there. So Dan Mora continues to impress. He does a ton of covers these days. I feel like he was like the poster child for DC Future State, coming up with all these new designs for some of these characters and things like that. So Dan Mora's popularity has certainly skyrocketed, and he's coming back to Power Rangers at least for one issue. So I'm certainly thrilled that he definitely is. But this is supposed to be a massive Zordon issue. So let me go ahead and pull up some of these preview pages for you guys. You get to see Dan Mora's artwork along with another variant cover for the issue. So this comes to us from boomstudios.com. Talking a little bit about a preview for Mighty Morphin issue number 10, set to go ahead and be released in June. It says they will reveal a hidden chapter from Zordon's past that will change everything you thought you knew about Power Rangers forever. It says, discover Zordon's ties to Pandora's Palace on the moon, the modern home of Rita Repulsa. When an assassin is sent to disrupt the Eltarians' effort to protect an ancient weapon, Zordon is injured in the process, and his mentor, Zafram, must make a decision that will alter the future of Power Rangers as we know it. And it does say that Power Rangers is currently celebrating 28 continuous years on the air. And so it says it will be available August 2021 at local comic book store. So there's no real release date as of yet for this issue. They still just have it considered a special issue for August 2021. So yeah, guys, big things are certainly coming when it comes to Mighty Morphin issue 10 as they dive a little bit deeper into Zordon's past. And one of the things that I have enjoyed about this so far when it comes to the storyline is you have been able to tell the Eltarians having a much bigger presence in the comic books for sure. There's always, especially when it comes to Mighty Morphin, there's always a few panels that definitely focus on Zordon's past. They definitely have already seen him come across the palace as well. They've even discovered him coming across the Zeo crystal for the very first time inside the palace also. So again, remember, this is a very young sort of Zordon, like 10,000 years ago sort of thing, right? So this is him before he gets into the tube and things like that, learning a little bit more about his world, some of his best friends, some of the missions that he was certainly on as a guardian of Eltar. So this has actually been really fun and really enlightening to kind of see another side of Zordon, who really has been a really big mysterious character when it comes to Power Rangers. So getting all this lore, I think, has been fantastic from Ryan Parrott. But how, the idea, I'm wondering if this is in fact going to be the idea of how Zordon gets into the state that he certainly is, that we all sort of now recognize him as. The fact that the synopsis mentions that Zordon gets injured, right? And that his mentor has to make a decision that will alter the future of Power Rangers as we know it. So I am wondering if they do something to Zordon's body to try and save him. Maybe that's how he becomes a big blue head. Who certainly knows what other secrets that they certainly might reveal. But comicbook.com did a small little interview with Ryan Parrott and Dan Moore to give us just a little bit of a tease as to what we can certainly expect from this episode. So it says, Dan Moore is one of the best artists in the game right now, and Power Rangers fans know that quite well after his amazing work in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers. Now Moore is returning to the franchise as a guest artist on Mighty Morphin issue number 10, but that's not all fans should look forward to in the anticipated issue. It says writer Ryan Parrott and Mora both tease that an epic secret will be revealed in the upcoming issue. And as you can see below, it has to do with the Power Rangers leader himself, Zordon. So this is what Ryan Parrott said. He said, Mighty Morphin issue 10 is the culmination of 2 years of planning and will reveal a monumental moment in both Zordon's life and Eltarian history. I'm always looking for an excuse to work with Dan Mora, so I was thrilled when when he somehow find time in his insanely busy schedule to come on board. I couldn't imagine telling this story without him. And Dan Mora even goes on to say, he says, I love being a part of the Power Rangers world. I'm very happy I get the chance to return to this more phenomenal team to explore an epic secret from Zordon's hidden past, is what he wind up saying in here. So, and then, yeah, they have some more images of the front covers and variant covers and things like that as well. So, yeah, guys, big things are certainly coming to Mighty Morphin. I was actually surprised that I'm like, August? I still have to wait for August for this issue, and you guys are already sort of previewing it. So I'm pretty sure we'll probably get it even as we get closer to the issue. I'm pretty sure we'll probably have maybe these same pages we previewed, but with word bubbles in it this time, with actual dialogue, so you guys can actually read and get an idea of the first 3 pages of what that episode is certainly going to be like. But we definitely will be reviewing it for you guys here, so definitely go ahead and stay tuned, especially if you're big into Boom Studios. But yeah, we're definitely going to be getting some great Zordon material. And again, I've loved the way that Ryan Parrott has really handled Zordon, just given him a different side that I can certainly, I don't want to say relate to, but relatable in regards to just how Zordon talks, some of the idea of him coming across another Eltarian and them kind of joking about what Eltar was certainly like in the past. And for me, it's just really great to kind of see Zordon with a smile on his face, laughing, remembering, going down memory lane and things like that. So now that we've seen, especially in the last episode of Mighty Morphin here, or issue, I should say, where we've had was it the Grandmaster, whoever the leader over on Eltarian is, actually pay Zordon a visit and letting them know that they certainly need to work side by side. I am kind of curious to see what sort of dilemma Zordon's going to find himself in and what that means for our Power Rangers definitely going forward. I am curious to know who this guy is on the front that we see Zordon facing off against. Is that like a younger Lord Zed before he came into power or something like that? It makes there are ideas in here that he's facing off against an assassin, that he gets injured by an assassin. I am wondering if that's Lord Zed pre Lord Zed, as we officially know him. I'm not quite sure, but we'll definitely learn as this series progresses for sure, though. Common Rider 64 says if they're done filming, then they could easily air the remaining episodes, including season 2, for the rest of the year. Well, I mean, it definitely depends on how they want to release it. Granted, they're not done filming; they're almost done filming. They've got maybe 5 or 6 more days left to go, so they're not completely done. But even though once they're done filming, just because they're done filming doesn't mean they can just release the episodes, right? You certainly still have people working on post-production, so that means people putting in the CGI effects, the special effects, the sound editing, the sound mixing, ADR work. Anything that goes into post-production, editing the episodes together and things like that, putting the final kibosh and stuff. So, I don't know how long it's certainly going to take for them to definitely do all of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the episodes that they've already finished filming are certainly going through those processes. But maybe by the time when we actually get to season 2 to actually air, I'm pretty sure, all those episodes probably will be done filming and wrapped up and sort of ready to go. It just really depends on how Hasbro wants to go ahead and release their seasons. If they want it to be completely bingeable, or if they want to do it as parts. It still wouldn't surprise me if it's as parts, but maybe just not as long of a hiatus. But we'll definitely have to see. All right, guys. And then the next topic we'll go ahead and talk about, we'll probably go ahead and make a transition over here. I was trying to go through the comments and see if you guys had any comments in regards to what we were talking about. But I will say this, we are going to go ahead and move on to our next topic here for you guys. And we're going to start making a transition here into some Tokusatsu news for you guys, as we did get a little bit of some things this week. Nothing too overly crazy, but some things that I thought would be interesting to go ahead and tackle. Because one of the things that we have been anticipating around here at A Plus More Phenomenal is the return of a brand new Ultraman series in Ultraman Trigger that's supposed to go ahead and drop this upcoming July, if I'm not mistaken. Last week, we talked a little bit about some casting announcement in regards to some additional actors that were going to be joining the show itself, giving us a little bit more insight into the series that this Guts corporation or whatever they've put together for themselves are going to have some form of some mechas that churn from jet fighters into actual machines as well to go ahead and assist in some fighting. So and really just talking about I'm assuming just the company in general, an organization that's going to be really really focused on in this upcoming series. But we wind up getting more announcements here this week for Ultraman Trigger, letting us know that Katsuya Takagi has been cast in Ultraman Trigger. So let's go ahead and break this information down. This actually comes to us from Tokusatsu Network. Great source for your Tokusatsu information. But this one comes to us from Tokusatsu Network. It says Subaraya has released new casting information for Ultraman Trigger, along with more information about Guts Select. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Oh, this is kind of cool. It says Subara has released the news that Katsuya Takagi will play uh, Seiya Tatsumi, the captain of Guts Select, in the upcoming series Ultraman Trigger. New information has also been provided about Guts Select in their parent organization, the Terrestrial Peaceable Union, also known as TPU. So it looks, we actually have some badges here that it looks like to represent the Terrestrial Peaceable Union and the Guts Select Group. It says the Saizuma Foundation is a global mega conglomerate leading the way even in space exploration. On one of their research missions, the foundation's leader, Chairman Mitsukuno, discovered a dark power threatening peace in the universe. In an effort to counter this grave danger, he worked to unite national governments across the planet with the resulting organization called Terrestrial Peaceable Union, TPU. The Japan headquarters is home to a global unlimited task squad known as Guts Select. Oh, okay. All right. So it looks like the Guts Select works under the TPU flag, it seems. They are an expert team specializing in anti-monster operations. And so here's the character himself, Seiya Tatsumi. It's a great design, honestly. I really do love those Guts jackets. I kind of want one now. It says Tatsumi is the captain of the elite squad Gut Select. He is known for his ability to unite everyone in pursuit of peace and for his perfect balance of strictness and kindness. From the anti-monster battleship, Nurse Desi, he leads the crew of Gut Select against the monsters threatening Earth. And then it says, here's Takagi's comments from Sobari. He says, I'm honored to be taking on the role of Captain Tatsumi. From the moment I was chosen to play the role, the excitement and pressure were so intense, I could barely sleep for a full week. Naturally, because Ultraman has been my hero since I was a child, I couldn't believe I was going to be a captain. He says, when I was young, the heroes and defense team members on the show filled me with courage, motivation, and the power to hope. Now it's our turn to shoulder that responsibility and create a bright future for children and adults alike. I'm all the more honored to be entrusted to play the role of captain in the 55th anniversary of Ultraman and Ultraman Tiga. My hope is that Trigger will capture the hearts of this generation, just as Tiga did with mine. I'll put my utmost into making Trigger a powerful work beloved by those of all generations. I honestly love just hearing them voice how honored they are. I feel like everybody that we have read about in regards to just some of their casting, that's all of they've talked about. Like the idea that they really grew up on a ton of these shows, that, you know, all these tokusatsu type shows like Ultraman and Super Sentai and Kamen Rider have been around for such a long time that a lot of these actors certainly grew up on it. And it just really continues to show you just how powerful these shows and how meaningful these shows certainly are in Japan after all these years. So for him to have watched the show in Ultraman Tiga to then be on here, I don't want to say this is like a reboot, but maybe like paying homage to that previous season. I think it's really great just for him as an actor to be able to go ahead and if anything, just reprise these, you know, play these roles that he certainly has looked up to ever since he was certainly a kid. So for me, I'm really excited when it comes to Ultraman Trigger. From some of the trailers that I've seen, some of the design in regards to the costumes and the Ultraman outfit look really fantastic. And I'm a big fan of anything space related. So the fact that this is going to be taking place sort of like on a colonization of Mars, I think is going to be really impactful for me as a fan of space and space exploration. So I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think in regards to this. So we've at least covered at least like 3 characters from Ultraman Trigger over the past couple of weeks. So I definitely would love to know what your level of excitement is for Ultraman. Have you checked out any Ultraman series? Is there any that stands out to you? And is Ultraman Trigger definitely on your radar to definitely go ahead and check out? But I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. And as we get closer, I am really starting to think that I might actually go ahead and review this season, just because for the channel at least, just because of the fact that I really want to dabble in it, and it might be something that we start tackling around here. So definitely pay close attention to see if that's something we do. Adam Perea says, I hope we're able to get English subs for Ultraman series, even though Toei is blocking fan subs from last week's announcements. Well, I will say this. I feel like fan subs are always going to come through. I feel like there's such a big fan base here in the States for anything tokusatsu related that, yes, while maybe two of our biggest fan sub sites have in fact been taken down, I think they are still doing English sub for some things, but I think when it comes to Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, those in fact have had to be removed. So maybe Ultraman is something that we actually do get English subs for, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. But look, I think as long as Toei continues to not make their content easily accessible to us here in the States that love their content, I do think that fan subs will continue to remain supreme. If you take down two, I'm pretty sure two more will probably come up. You know what I mean? So I really hope that if anything has Toei, I was about to say Hasbro, I would hopefully Toei does make it accessible in some way or another, whether that be simulcasting it on its YouTube page, similar to how they did with Ultraman Z. If not, I'm pretty sure somebody will find a way to dub it. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Blossom says, this is the first time I've heard of Ultraman. Yeah, I would, if I were you, I would definitely dabble in it a little bit. If you enjoy tokusatsu, definitely go ahead and maybe check out the first episodes of certain seasons. Maybe something will certainly grab your attention. Again, I know that they currently have Ultraman comic books that are out there for Marvel right now. They've got the Ultraman Z series currently out that I think you could probably find somewhere to catch up on in English subs. On Netflix, they have the Ultraman series, animated series. I believe the first season is up there. Whether or not we're getting to season 2, I'm not quite sure, but there is an animated Ultraman series on Netflix also, Blossom. So definitely go ahead and dabble in some Ultraman if you get the opportunity to and see how you like it. Next up, guys, we're going to go ahead and move over to some Kamen Rider and Super Sentai news for you guys. As when it comes to Kamen Riders 01, on our page a couple of weeks ago, we did go ahead and release the our review for the 01 movie. I think it was it Real Time? Stuart went ahead and did the review for that. Stuart's also continuing to do our Kamen Rider Saber reviews, but we have ourselves another Kamen Rider movie headed our way, and that is in fact 01 Others, but this time it's for Kamen Rider Vulcan and Valkyrie. We've seen the posters already here. We've highlighted the posters that look great. We've also highlighted some of the brand new Vulcan and Valkyrie forms that they're supposed to be getting in this particular movie. But as of this week, they actually did go ahead and release a teaser trailer, just a teaser trailer in regards to what we can definitely expect from this movie. So you can definitely believe that this will be another movie that Stuart will go ahead and review for you guys. And there might be another 01 Others movie out there that Stuart is currently working on for you guys. Hopefully he'll be dropping that this week, because I think there was another 01 Others movie that dropped also. So let's go ahead and bring this up. This comes to us from jefusion.com, one of the best Japanese entertainment blogs out there, guys. If you have yet to check out their page, please go ahead and do so. We are affiliated with jefusion.com. They host a lot of our Super Sentai videos, and even weekly episodes of A Plus More Phenomenal will get posted there as well. But this comes from them, JE Fusion. This says here that for the teaser trailer, it says, excited for the first part of Kamen Rider 01 spin-off movies, excited for the final part of the Kamen Rider 01 spin-off movies. Well, then check out the teaser trailer for 01 Others, Kamen Rider Vulcan, and the Valkyrie movie. So you know what, actually, let me stop this for a second, because I do want to pull up the audio briefly. Granted, it is all in Japanese.
滅亡人雷ネットです。お前らどういうつもりだ。
It's actually a pretty cool suit design. Yeah, super brief. See what I mean? Super brief. But I mean, it is a teaser trailer. It does the job that I think it's supposed to do. It does get me hyped. I have no idea who that character is. I didn't finish 01, so I'm not quite sure if this is a character that pops up in there or not. But I am eager to see what this movie is going to be about. It does say that it will be available on Blu-ray and DVD this November 10th, and will have a limited fall theatrical release. So it's only going to be in theaters for a very short time before actually making its way to a Blu-ray, if you will. But yeah, that's our very first teaser trailer. I'm actually really excited to see the actual full-on trailer, to be honest with you guys, to see more action and hopefully get some more story elements in regards to what we can certainly expect. But Vulcan and Valkyrie teaser trailer is online. I'm sure you guys can probably go ahead and find that if you certainly want to, if you want to go ahead and rewatch the trailer for yourself. I couldn't find one in English subs or anything like that with like captions or anything. So hopefully as we get a little bit further into it, hopefully we will be having some English subs for some of these trailers that we wind up getting. But I want to know your levels of excitement. For me, I definitely want to see just what the brand new costumes are going to look like in action. Again, we have seen glimpses of them, but not in action as of yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Maybe we'll get that in the actual official trailer to kind of get us even more hyped, if you will. All right, guys. And then our last topic for the day, this one I thought was just pretty fun to go ahead and throw in here because of the fact that when it comes to Zenkaiger, well, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of all the music. I do love the theme song for Zenkaiger. It gets me going each and every week. But if you guys like the music when it comes to Zenkaiger, you're probably in luck because there is, in fact, a mini album that is set to be released if it hasn't already, guys. So again, this is another story from JEfusion.com. Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger mini album list officially revealed. So when they say mini album, they're definitely not kidding. It's as many as it comes. So let's go ahead and dive into this last article as well for the day. Again, from JEfusion.com. But it says, for those of you who haven't purchased the recently released mini album, get to know about the list of music that's contained in the album. So here's a track list. So there's six tracks. You get Zenkaiger. I'm assuming this is the main title theme for the series. Then you've got Change Zenkaiger. I'm assuming that's maybe the henshin sequences. Then you've got Combination Vroom Majin, which I would assume is the combination of Vroom and Majin transforming during that particular song, perhaps during that particular moment. Then you've got Zenkai Gatai Juren Gaon. I'm wondering if this is maybe another combination piece that gets played as they're combining those two Zords together. We also have Kaizoku no Uta by Two Kaiser and Zox Gold Tweaker. So I'm wondering if that's Two Kaiser's maybe theme song. Maybe they have a song that they happen to sing together. Is that the Yoho Hoi song that they sing? I'm not quite sure. And then you have a karaoke version of the theme song for Zenkaiger as well. So yeah, guys. So 6 tracks. For me, I would probably really only be here for the Zenkaiger's intro, and then maybe the Two Kaiser and Zox Gold Tweaker stuff. Again, I'm not even sure which theme that is. But for some reason, when I'm thinking about it, I am wondering if that is in fact either his Yoho Hoi that he whistles, maybe lyrics that go with his henshin. Not quite sure, but I wouldn't mind finding out. It says, for those of you who are planning to get it, you can buy it at yours. You can buy yours at CD Japan for 1,500 yen, and then he also has a link to the site as well. Let's see where this site takes us. Yeah, 1,500 yen. What does that mean in US dollars, though? Oh, $13.78 for a mini album. Okay. If you guys feel like that's worth it, I am kind of curious to know with the shipping. In stock usually ships within 1 to 2 days. Only one remaining in stock. Should I pull the trigger? Let me see. Add to cart. View cart. I want to know what the... I want to see, like, are they going to shipping charge? Oh, yeah. Let's see. The fuck? No. 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 No, thank you. There's no way. There's no way I'm paying double. Shit. You're looking at airmail, $27. FedEx priority, $40. So from 27 to $40 just for shipping. On top of the $13 for... Goodness. See, I'm an amateur when it comes to purchasing things from Japan. I mean, some people might do that in regards to maybe like toy collection stuff. I'm not sure. But the idea that I'm paying $13 for a mini CD, 6 tracks, mind you, 6 tracks, and then having to pay an additional 27 to $40 for shipping, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all can keep that. But listen, guys, I want to know your thoughts. Are you excited about this mini album? Are you willing to go ahead and purchase one? If you are, let me rip some of those songs from you. No, I'm just kidding. But I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think it's worth, for at least, look, just $13? For $13, if it was $13, yeah, I would totally go ahead and pull the trigger on that for six songs on the track list. But we'll see. All right, guys. Other than that, I think that actually wraps it up for all of our stories here this week in regards to A+ More Phenomenal. So thank you guys for certainly joining us here today for all of our topics. If anything, we'll probably go ahead and start diving into some of your guys' live viewer questions. But let me see. Let me see what some of you guys are saying. Datilla, thank you for making me feel a little bit better. It says, don't worry, Adam, I'm an amateur too. Yeah, I mean, I've never purchased anything from Japan. I mean, trust me when I say, like, I'm not oblivious to the idea that it's going to cost some money to go from Japan over here to the States. I just had no idea it was going to cost 27 to $40 for a CD. For a CD. Like, some pieces of plastic, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like that's crazy to me. But so yeah, I'm probably out on that. AJ says, do I think Kaido's grandma will become a Zenkaiger? No, I don't. I don't. Blossom says, Super Sentai has some great music, I got to admit. I love the character songs of all the ones they made. Kagura's, Lucky's, and Juro's are the ones that I love. Yeah, they do. They definitely do make some great music. There is great music in Super Sentai that does tend to give me goosebumps and chills sometimes when I watch it, especially if it's put together with a great storyline. But yeah, Super Sentai music can be rather powerful. I haven't really felt that type of powerful music in Power Rangers in a really long time, with the exception of Bert Selling's stuff in Dino Fury. His stuff definitely does give me the chills. Detello also says, I hope you get a chance to meet Jason Fount. He was so nice. He complimented me on my wrestling shirt and even asked who was on it. Yeah, thank you very much, Detello, for letting me know about your meeting with JDF and Jason Fount. I think it was awesome. Great pictures also. I've never had a chance to meet Jason Fount. I have met, while I will say this, I can't say I haven't met him. I have met him. I just haven't met him in sort of like that one-on-one style that you kind of did with him and JDF. Like when I met him, it was for a big sort of group photo, and just kind of shaking his hand and things like that and saying hello. But outside of that, I haven't really had the opportunity to meet him, but I've always wanted to. He's always been one of my favorites in regards to Red Rangers. So I think most of my attention went to Erin when I got the chance to meet her, taking photos and just being goofy and talking with her and just fallen madly in love. I think everybody that's met Erin Cahill has probably fallen madly in love. She's just that type of person. But I'm glad that you had a great time with Jason Fount and JDF. I think that was so cool. Getting back out there, seeing some of these actors, I've been seeing a ton of convention posters for Jasmeet Badawalia from Beast Morphers along with Rory. They've been going on some conventions together. I even saw, I think it was Abraham, Liana, and Colby. I think they all got together as well for some conventions. If it wasn't conventions, it might have been like actual signings at like a comic book store, something along those lines, maybe some actual signings. But I think it's just cool to see some of our Rangers getting back out there now that the pandemic is kind of, dying down very slowly. People that are vaccinated are going out and being able to interact a lot more and stuff. So it does feel like times are a changing. JB says true sweetheart is Karen Ashley. Yeah, I've met Karen Ashley twice, and each time she's an absolute doll. She's so funny, she's so vibrant, so full of energy, very easy to certainly talk to, make you laugh. I definitely agree with you, JB. Like, if there is a true sweetheart, anytime that I've met Karen Ashley, it's been fantastic. All right, guys, let me go ahead and transition over to some live viewer questions. I am also, just to give you guys a heads up before we even get into this, I am in the process of trying to explore some ideas for a new intro from A Plus More Phenomenal. I do want to do a video intro. I'm probably going to go over to Fiverr.com to see if I can find somebody to go ahead and put together a nice professional intro for A Plus More Phenomenal. I've got some ideas. For some reason, I've got like this shattered grid idea in my head of like different variations, like a pane glass window, or almost like those I don't want to say those church windows, that like mosaic or something like that. Those mosaic, like a mosaic window of like different episodes or different Power Ranger teams, and then maybe having my A plus sign like bust through and shatter it all, type of thing. Kind of shattering through the glass. I don't know. I'm thinking of a couple of other ideas as well, but we'll see what happens. I don't know how much money I'm going to have to drop for it to be as intricate as I certainly want it to be. Maybe they'll throw in a couple of quick shots of me like, hey, talking live or whatever. I don't know how they put all that crap together, honestly, but I definitely do want to go ahead and update it, because yes, AJ did bring it to my attention. I feel like I've had this intro for quite some time, and when I did go ahead and change the intro for our other YouTube page, A Plus Hero Report, I did have every intention of also just jumping on for A Plus More Phenomenal and having somebody design one as well. But as far as like getting an idea for it, it's a little bit hard, because not only do I want to get an intro done, but I also want to put together a new theme for A Plus More Phenomenal. So look out for it here within the next several weeks. I'll definitely keep you guys posted in regards to that. All right, guys. So let me go ahead and pull up your live viewer questions. Let me go ahead and I think we have quite a few today. I do have to travel back into the DFW area later on after we go live. All right, starting from May 16th, Jessica Friedman. What's up, Jessica? Appreciate you coming through. Hey, Adam, will Dino Fury be going to so hey, Adam, with Dino Fury going to Netflix, you think this helps get the rest of the seasons back on Netflix or to a different streaming service? And would you like to see Mick come back for another cameo? I wouldn't mind Mick coming back for another cameo, as long as it makes sense. I enjoyed seeing him for sure. I think the only scene I didn't enjoy Mick in was when he transformed into the race car. That was a little bit not sure how I felt about it. But other than that, I really enjoyed him in here. Kelson's just a great actor, so I'm willing to have him back anytime. And do I think the rest of the seasons are going to go back on Netflix or a different streaming service? No, I think they'll stay on YouTube. I think they'll stay on YouTube. They've got over 100,000 views already on some of the episodes. So when I look at that, I'm pretty sure that Hasbro's probably making a nice chump of change from that. So I think they'll probably stay on YouTube. Power Rangers Legacy has a couple questions. At the end of Countdown to Destruction, how did you feel when Zordon's energy wave turned Rita and Zed to human? There is a theory that Rita and Zed were changed into who they were by a different villain, maybe by Master Val. And do you wish that we had a small backstory to Rita and Zed before they were villains? Yeah, the backstory I definitely would love more on. Honestly, and I feel like that that backstory is probably going to be told here in the Boom Studios comic books rather soon. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But yes, I definitely would have liked to have a small backstory for Rita and Zed before they were villains. I will also say this. How did I feel when Zordon's energy wave turned Rita and Zed to human? I thought it was pretty neat. Part of me wants to say, maybe we should have broken Zordon's energy thing a long time ago. If it was going to bring peace to the galaxy, and that's all that it took. Like Zordon, maybe you need to make that sacrifice, bro. If your energy is going to be able to extinguish all this stuff, like maybe we should have did this season 1. No, I didn't think about that when I first watched it. But I mean, as a kid, probably relief. I think it was pretty cool to kind of see the idea that they might have had human forms or that they were somebody before they wind up kind of turning evil. So for me, I thought it was a really great reveal and a really great ending to sort of wrap up that Saban era of storytelling for Zordon's storyline. So I thought it was pretty awesome. What previous Power Ranger team except Mighty Morphin you would like to return to TV show and see what they've been doing since the end of the series? This could also apply to Super Sentai seasons you really like. Power Ranger team, except for Mighty Morphin, that I would like to return to TV and see what they've been doing since the end of their series. Time Force for sure. I definitely want to see, although I feel like I might have seen that a little bit, but I still definitely want to see Time Force. Believe it or not, I actually would love to see Samurai. I would love to see what Samurai has actually been up to since the last time that we've seen their season. Who else would I like to see? And probably maybe the Dino Thunder team. I probably would like to see what all three of them, after their adventures on this series, would it wind up leading them to as of now, where they find themselves at. Let's see here. What did you think of Lost Galaxy when Leo and Mike were the first Rangers to be brothers on the same team? I thought that was great. And when Leo had to be the Red Ranger where Mike was assumed dead after falling underground, did you like that Leo was the only Ranger we've ever had who believed he wasn't chosen to be a hero? He was just there as a promise to Mike. Yeah, I thought that was a great storyline for Leo. Talk about unique in its own sense. The idea that it wasn't you that was certainly picked, but you picking up the mantle of your brother after his death and kind of running with it as a promise. I think that's really telling, and I think that really goes a long way for the Leo character. While I wasn't the biggest fan of Lost Galaxy season, that was something that really kind of got to me. I have a brother myself. Granted, we are 10 years younger, so we weren't necessarily that close in age, if you will. But yeah, that idea of having to pick up the mantle after somebody else has been chosen, even though it necessarily wasn't you, I think that's yeah, that definitely struck me. I thought that was a great storyline that they focused on for Leo for sure. Let's see here. Johnny Marrero, he's got 3 questions. Are you thrilled about the upcoming release of Mighty Morphin Necessary Evil Part 1? Huh? Am I thrilled about the upcoming release of Necessary Evil Part 1? Are they releasing it in like graphic novel form? I haven't seen no. Oh, is it because of the deluxe? Let me see. Huh. I have never heard of it. I mean, I've read this series, but that's interesting. I had never heard of that. I guess I'm excited. I guess I'm excited. I mean, I feel like I've read it already. The Necessary Evil stuff. I mean, I don't really collect the graphic novels like that, like the hardback stuff. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if it wasn't so damn expensive half the time. But I've already read it, so I mean, I'm eager for anybody else that gets the opportunity to read it for the first time. Are you sad that Dino Fury is wrapping up? I'm not so much sad that it's wrapping up. Um, I mean, I probably, if anything, maybe I feel sad for the actors and the crew because of all the time and hard work that they've put into it and friendships that they've, established, and everybody having to kind of go their separate ways and go back to their lives and stuff. I always looked at it as like a really long summer camp, Um, going to do a ton of great activities, learning some things along the way, seeing a new place and location, learning some valuable lessons along the way when it comes to acting. So I'm not necessarily sad that it's wrapping up. For me, that just means we're closer to actually getting the episodes themselves. I feel sad maybe for the cast and cast and crew though. With Dino Fury wrapping up, do you think next year they will announce a new Sentai adaptation or something original with Simon Bennett involved as a showrunner? I will say this. I do think that we're going to get something original with Simon Bennett involved as a showrunner. I might have a video for you guys this week, talking a little bit more about that. But if I had to guess, I would think that next year, probably an announcement of a new Sentai season adaptation coming. Probably sometime next year, probably get an announcement of an original series with Simon Bennett involved as showrunner. And I'll talk about that more in detail this week, Johnny, because I do have another video that I'm going to drop this week talking about that specifically. Adam Perea has got a couple questions. What do you think made Super Sentai and Power Rangers a worldwide phenomenon? And what do you think about both seasons have done that stood out from each other? Well, one of the things that stood out from Super Sentai for me was that just based off of watching it very early on in its adaptation, I mean, very early on in its series, I do feel like it's probably watered down a little bit more as we've gotten into more current seasons. But the one thing that's always stood out to me from each other is just how, I don't want to say how serious Super Sentai takes itself, but the idea that it's not, that it never originally started off as a kid's show. When I go back and I'm watching Go Rangers, I mean, they do curse, they do, they do drop F-bombs or, certain curse words here and there. That's definitely not kid friendly, right? So they've always tackled these really difficult moments and experiences in people's lives, and they certainly tackled them, without necessarily putting on the kiddie gloves. So I've always felt Super Sentai was a lot more grown up than than Power Rangers, although now I feel like they're almost right next to each other at times in regards to, like, when I look at Karamager and I look at Zenkaiger, aesthetically, like just design wise and some of the storyline wise, can be a little bit more towards the kid aspect of things. But don't get it wrong. Like, Super Sentai still does dabble in some dark concepts. I mean, look, Karamager dealt with family, a family rivalry and a royal family that kind of just fell apart based off of an uncle betraying the family, a brother betraying a brother's, killing your own brother, if you will. The idea of somebody warping a child's mind and taking control of their body for the entirety of their life, sort of thing, right? Like, there's a lot of deep issues that Super Sentai truly focuses on, but still allows for the lightheartedness that does remind me sometimes of Power Rangers. But trust me when I say Super Sentai used to be even probably darker than that at times, and certainly didn't mind dropping a couple of curse words here and there. So that's usually where I've always felt the separation truly comes, just the deeper storylines and maybe the not necessarily always for kids mentality that Super Sentai has taken. But for Power Rangers, as far as what do I think what do I think made Super Sentai and Power Rangers a worldwide phenomenon? I just don't think it was anything. I just don't think it was like anything anybody else had ever seen. You know, Power Rangers at the time back in the 90s, I had never seen anything about, you know, here in the States. I didn't even know outside of maybe Godzilla, the idea of, you know, somebody wearing a big old costume and just, you know, the concept and the ideas of tokusatsu and how it was filmed and what went into it. You know, that was our first dabble for me as a kid in tokusatsu and that style of filmmaking when it came out here to Power Rangers, just seeing how it was adapted from Super Sentai footage. And so while at the time I didn't know where they were getting this Japanese footage from or this other type of footage, I don't even know if I realized it as a kid until I got older. But it was honestly unlike anything that I ever seen. You know, that type of stuff you only had read in comic books. You know, our superheroes forming big robots or facing off with superpowers and kung fu and karate against, you know, the villains and stuff. That type of stuff just wasn't on TV at the time. So that definitely made it here a huge phenomenon here in the States. But when it comes to Super Sentai, I think I believe Kamen Rider probably precedes Super Sentai. I don't know if what other tokusatsu shows precede. I don't know if Ultraman. Yeah, I got to assume Ultraman probably was before then. So I guess maybe I don't know if they had just created that tokusatsu concept with things like Kamen Rider and Ultraman back in the day. I mean, Godzilla was big during that also. But I am kind of wondering if back in the 70s, if for them, if this was like a revolutionary sort of type of storytelling, you know, big suits and big monsters or people at least dressed up, right? Because I don't think the monsters were really introduced until maybe late 70s or early 80s, perhaps. I could be wrong. So I think for me, maybe it was just during that time, just the concept and the idea of presenting television and stories in a brand new way probably captured the imaginations of tons of people over in Japan at the time. I really would like to learn more about Super Sentai as far as like its incarnation, you know, what inspired them to go ahead and create these type of series and things like that. Since I am revisiting Go Ranger in our exclusive Patreon access videos. I do want to see like what that was like for them when this stuff was released. So yeah, I definitely do have some research on my own to definitely do for sure. Adam also asks if the 15th anniversary of Power Rangers crossover we had in Power Rangers Ninja Steel did a similar team up from its Sentai counterpart by bringing back Ninja Storm. Would have you liked if the Wind Rangers and even the Thunder Rangers taught the main team some things on being Rangers, or on being ninjas and as Power Rangers? I think that would actually been pretty cool. Yeah. Could even allow Shane, Hunter, Blake to help Brody and Levi learn about being brothers after being separated for most of their lives as Rangers. Well, you know, we can only bring back so many Ninja Storm characters, unfortunately. Pua did go ahead and pass away a few years ago. So the idea of bringing him back, I think that was that before. I think I'm trying to remember if that's Ninja Steel crossover, if that was before or after Pua's passing. But I would have been completely open to the idea of Ninja Storm popping up in there as well. And then which past mentor of Power Rangers from old seasons do you wish to return for an episode or even a full season? You guys know one of my favorite mentors has always been RJ. So I would love to see RJ come back at some point in time. Let's see here. AJ's got a couple of questions. With France getting the first 8 episodes of Dino Fury, again, I think it's only 5 to 6, and us getting them on Netflix in the next few weeks for the US, do you think that means that overseas airing for the rest of Dino Fury will start making their way? And does this still mean Dino Fury season 2 headed to Netflix right after season 1 finishes on Nickelodeon? So I don't believe once season 1 wraps on Nickelodeon, that it's going to be that season 2 is going to drop on Netflix. I still think that there's going to be a hiatus. I still think there's going to be a small hiatus, and then it probably will return, say that March or that April on Netflix. So not necessarily right after, but probably a little bit of a hiatus before it drops on Netflix, I'm hoping. Do you think this means overseas airing for the rest of season 1? I still think we're probably going to get that. I still think that we will. Keeping my fingers crossed and hoping not, just because I would love to finally see new episodes air here first. But it wouldn't surprise me if we still get international airings, like they always have. What do you think of ToQger as a Super Sentai series, and what were your initial thoughts when you first saw the series for the first time? Was it weird having a Ranger series based on trains and imaginations, even the ABCs? I don't really remember the ABCs having such a big role to play in that. But as far as like trains and imagination, I thought it was the idea of imagination being a theme, I thought was really unique. Based off of the fact that, growing up in school, I used to draw. I used to be in creative writing as a kid, back in high school. So the idea of using your imagination is something that I felt like I always utilized as a kid growing up. And seeing how they use that concept of imagination into the series, I think is brilliant. The idea that a lot of this stuff, can't be seen by adults because it's really only through the eyes of like children and stuff. I thought was a really cool concept of just like this other world that kind of lives out there in your imagination sort of thing, seeing the different train lines and stuff. When I first saw it, like everybody else, I think I was maybe a little bit underwhelmed just from the reveals that we wind up getting. But once you actually sit down and watch the season and seeing how it all kind of comes together, for me, I had a blast watching ToQger. The Sixth Stranger was even great. The villains for me of ToQger really help even bolster that season a little bit more, honestly. Just because I that might have been my first Super Sentai season I watched where they paid just as much attention to the villains as they did the heroes themselves, and I think that really went a long way. And I think also just uniqueness. While I know people might have complained about how boring and simple the suits themselves were, the idea of seeing their morphing sequence, I think, was great. Anytime that they put a train on their line, the fact that there was always this barrier of a train that would go past them to kind of keep the villains away from them as they morph, I thought was pretty brilliant. The idea of being able to switch out your trains to other Sentai counterparts, I thought was great. So we were able to get to see people change their color, change their numbers, change their weapons. I had a lot of fun. I thought it was actually just really pretty imaginative in its own right. So yeah, I absolutely love that series. What were some of your favorite memorable storylines from the Disney era of Power Rangers? Oh man. I think for me, Dino Thunder was always one of my favorites. I do remember, for me, the one that stands out for me when I watch Dino Thunder, believe it or not, is actually the prom. Is actually just the dance that they wind up having at the end. Like, I was trying to remember if I had ever seen that before in another Power Rangers series like that. But I love the fact that it definitely had sort of um, that high school feel and vibe to it that I felt had been missing a lot from some of the past Super Sentai, past Power Ranger seasons that we've had before in the past. So maybe not necessarily my favorite, but definitely just a memorable moment I felt like when it comes to some of the Disney era stuff. Like even just the idea of like from Mystic Force, like having one of their not their base, but like having one of their places. Like the one thing I loved about Disney era stuff was the selection of like jobs that they gave some of the Power Rangers, like Ninja Storm. Didn't they work at like a surfboard shop or something like that, like on the beach or something? Mystic Force, they had the CD and like the record store. I really enjoy like just little things like that. instead of it just always being in high school or a secret base or whatever the case may be. I always loved the fact that they had really cool, that they always thought outside the box when it came to the Disney era stuff for Power Rangers. So that's the type of little things like that that really make those series kind of go a long way for me. Let's see here. Adrian Perez has got a couple questions. While the Neo Saban era of Power Rangers wasn't that good for over a decade, what did at least stood out that you found decent? That at least stood out and that you found decent. Um, I didn't mind so much the finale of Samurai once Lauren came into play. I thought the finale was pretty intense. Jake and Gia from Megaforce continues to stand out to me. For the legendary war stuff, that was it legendary battle stuff, or maybe it was the stuff leading up to it for Super Megaforce. When they did bring back some of the cameos, I did at least enjoy seeing like what some of them were doing as far as helping people, because of the fact that we had the villains attacking the Earth, and you had to have our Power Rangers come together and start helping some of the civilians all around. I thought that was a pretty neat, redeemable moment for that. But there's really not that many for me, man. I try, like, Neo Saban stuff tends to be a blur at times, honestly, for me. What season from each era of Power Rangers did you find had incredible moments? This can also apply to Dino Fury. So definitely from regular Saban, definitely the in space moment, seeing Astronema facing off against Andros, their battle and releasing Zordon. That's definitely a incredible moment for me. Seeing Tommy come back in Dino Thunder was a huge moment for me. I knew he was coming back, but then even getting an opportunity to see him facing off against his other counterparts, I thought was pretty epic. As far as new eras, probably even I won't even put Dino Fury in there just because of the fact that we've talked so much about it. But even maybe the Steel being lost to the Rangers in Beast Morphers and seeing him come back as in his human form, I thought was another sort of a great moment that stood out to me from some of the eras. And I will even say that the Beast Morphers musical episode, to this day, one of my favorite moments ever in Neo Saban era for sure. What were your favorite season finales? Disney era, Neo Saban era. Oh God, guys, that's a tough one, man. Because I haven't watched some of these series in forever. JB says, what says MMPR did a lot of dances. Yeah, they did. I don't think they did anything as grandiose as Beast Morphers, though, so I'm not even going to compare them. Adrian, I'm going to have to get back to you on that question, man. For some of my favorite season finales. I actually didn't mind Lost Galaxies so much, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of that series. I didn't mind Lost Galaxies so much. Yeah, I would have to go back and watch some of these. I don't remember all these episodes like that off the back of my head. Doomsday does have 3 other questions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were getting speculation on who's returning for a Dino crossover, didn't Kevin Donahue, who played Ethan, say he would love to be in his Blue Ranger suit again? I believe so. Yeah, I believe Ethan did come out and make mention of that before. I think he was, but I don't think they were able to get everybody back, unfortunately. I don't remember if I told you this before, but my original name before Doomsday was actually Everybody Unsubscribe. I don't want anyone else. Oh, that's right. I didn't know that was you, Doomsday. Thank you for the clarification. I just shortened and changed my name to avoid any more confusion. Well, I appreciate it, Doomsday. Yeah, I like this screen name so much better. If Wild Force's episode Forever Red was in theaters, what do you think the audience reaction would be? Oh man, I would love to see Forever Red in the movie theaters. Are you kidding me? I would probably be like, where's the other hour and a half of this? I would want to see an entire movie of something like this. Like, you only giving me 30 minutes of this. Can we at least extend this to an hour and a half, like a full feature length film? Nah, I think Forever Red would have been fantastic to see in movie theaters, though, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that would have been a great you know what? Can we do that? Like, I wonder, can we? I know that they have certain programs now in like for Cinemark, AMC, where you can maybe like rent out a theater, but can you rent out a theater and play whatever you want in the theater? Like, could I have like a Forever Red like showing at a movie theater if I truly wanted to? Hmm. Ideas. Okay, Doomsday. You're putting ideas and planting ideas in my head, man. But yeah. All right, guys. I think that's probably going to do it for all of our live viewer questions for today. Let me jump into this live chat with you guys, though, and see what some of you guys are saying, though. This comes from Adam. YouTube is such a mess right now with putting old episodes. Only Dino Charge and Ninja Steel are full episodes uploaded. Not sure why Hasbro waits for announcing at Hasbro Pulse to upload. I'm not sure either. I will say this: Dino Thunder is currently on the Power Rangers official YouTube page. So Dino Thunder is up there. I think they might have the first 5 or 6 episodes up. And Jungle Fury, if I'm not mistaken, might have dropped 1 or 2 episodes as well for you guys to check out on Power Rangers official YouTube page. We talked about this when they were pulling from the seasons from Netflix and moving over to YouTube when they announced it. That one of my biggest worries and fears of this happening was the fact that it's going to take forever for these past seasons to actually make their way onto YouTube, and that's exactly what happened. My worry was we would get 1 or 2 episodes here, then they would move on to another season, episodes 1 or 2 here, sort of thing. I was also worried that maybe we would get like episode 2 and then an episode 5 and then an episode 13 or something drop like completely randomly. So they are taking their sweet ass time and dropping these episodes. I am wondering like what how are they choosing their seasons? Is there a particular order that they're trying to go in? I have no idea. So I would like to see them speed it up just a little bit more, but it is gonna be a while. If anything, maybe they're just taking full advantage of the idea that they are maybe trying to bring more attention to their pages. Again, these episodes are garnishing over 100,000 views already. So people definitely are watching these episodes. So maybe that's part of it, is that they want to slowly trickle it out, but they will eventually be on YouTube, guys. It definitely is gonna take quite some time, unfortunately. Datilla says DFW is so pretty. I was there briefly in January of last year. Where are you from, Datilla? I can't recall off the top of my head, but are you in Texas? Are you in Cali? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, I don't mind the DFW area. I grew up in New York and New Jersey. A lot more greenery out there for sure, but you definitely feel every season up north. I moved out here in about 2002. So I'm almost been out here 20 years now that I think about it. And DFW has definitely grown a lot. And I continue to watch it just explode in regards to just growth and people moving over here from California. If you don't mind it being a Republican state, Texas might be the place for you. It is very much, they always say the cost of living is a lot less here, which I tend to agree with, although I will say more people moving out here isn't helping the matter. The idea of a 1-bedroom around here, depending on where you look, it is going up. A couple years ago, I was able to pay, when I was 28, my first apartment was $650 for 649 square foot. Great location in the colony, Texas. But now that area is exploded, and it's building up a ton of stuff out in that area. And now just trying to find a 1-bedroom out here is maybe anywhere between $800 to $900 for a 1-bedroom. I think you could probably, a lot of places these days, you can't afford a place to live on just one full-time job. Sadly, a lot of places these days require you to have 2. But outside of it, I haven't had any issues out here since I've been here in DFW. I've enjoyed the people I've had the chance to meet. A lot of driving. It's a bunch of highways to certainly get where you need to go. So definitely have a car out here, but it's not too bad. The weather can be great. Summertime can be atrocious, just heat-wise. But I tend to enjoy it. My uncle came out from New York a few years back. We hung out in Dallas, walked around the area a little bit, went to a couple sports games, saw the Mavericks play and things like that. So yeah, there's certainly a lot to do. There's a lot to do out here in the DFW area. Like for where I'm located in Fort Worth, getting to Arlington to go to like a Cowboys game or a Texas Rangers game is maybe like a 15-20 minute drive. To get to Dallas might be a little bit longer, maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe 45 minutes. But I feel like I feel like I can get to anywhere that I need to rather easily, just based off of where Dallas is located, where Denton is located, where Fort Worth. It's a nice little triangle of a ton of stuff to do within an hour's drive of each other. Datilla says, I live in Angel Grove, California. You literally went to the one place, huh? You literally decided to move there. Such a fan of Power Rangers. Let's see here. What else we got? Tyler, what's up, Tyler? Appreciate you coming through today. I wonder what's taking so long for new Dino Fury toys. Who the hell knows, man? Have they not released Dino Fury toys yet? I feel like they have. Have they not released anything recently? So we'll see. JB says, what says it's supposed to rain today, so be safe out there. Yeah, it was already trickling a little bit. I do have to drive into Louisville later on today, so I might just have to be very cautious when I drive out there later. Datilla says, I can't believe it's been 10 years since Samurai. I remember being a senior in high school and being so excited about it. Yeah, 10 years, that's crazy to fathom that it's been that long already. Yeah, if there was a group that I would love to see kind of come back or see what they've been up to, it probably would be the Samurai group from Neo Saban era. AJ says, "Why is your brother in Japan for work? What does he do, if you don't mind me asking?" He does market research for a company over in Japan right now. I think he I don't know. I'm trying to think how long he's had this job for. But I think he wound up getting a promotion maybe sometime last year or so. But he likes it. He loves it out there. We thought maybe he would go out there and dabble in some Japan for maybe a year or two and then come back. But he's established himself pretty well. He tends to really love it out there. He loves the Japanese culture, and him and I grew up on Japanese anime for a while, and so it just kind of his curiosity and love for the culture just continued to grow. Wind up teaching himself Japanese, then went on to school in high school and in college to actually learn it from his schooling, and then moved out to Japan to make sure that it was as fluent as possible for him. So yeah, he's doing some great things over there. Just moved into a new apartment, got a boyfriend that he's really thrilled about. So yeah, we just talked actually maybe a couple of weeks ago on the phone. So yeah, he loves it out there. But yeah, he's doing some market research out there for Japan right now. JB says, "What's his Lost Galaxy one of the greatest seasons in your opinion?" And I'm sure it's probably the opinion of a lot of other people for sure, JB. So yeah. Adams says, I wonder if Power Rangers became kiddie in the Neo Saban era, either because of Nickelodeon and Saban, or they followed Super Sentai with some of the more comedic seasons. What do you think? I think it's a combination of Nickelodeon and Saban. I really do. Because I think there were some elements, even in Samurai, that were really watered down and kidified, if you will, when it comes to Samurai. Because for me, I don't think I've really started noticing Super Sentai become so kiddie until maybe Ninja, maybe even maybe after Ninja, and I don't even say even that kiddie like. As I'm trying to think of Lupin Pat versus Pat Ranger, maybe they started softening up a bit. I don't know. Yeah, Real Soldier. Yeah, I feel like it was probably more Saban and Nickelodeon kind of doing that. Do you think Saban was attempting to create his own universe with Power Rangers, Beetleborg, Mask Rider, and VR Troopers? Probably. Who's to say? Like, if all that stuff continued to be, if all that stuff continued to be really popular, I mean, who's to say that he wouldn't have tried to create his own cinematic universe a lot earlier on? You know what I mean? Um, so I do kind of think he was probably trying to do that. Sam, what's up, Sam? Good to see you in here as always. Thank you very much for certainly coming through. I appreciate the question, Sam, but unfortunately, I don't really follow Kamen Rider like that to know. He says, "Hey Adam, my question is: if Master Rider or Kamen Rider been in the Hasbro universe adaptation, what next story after Dragon Knight?" That unfortunately I don't know, but I will tell you right now, if I was Hasbro and I did have the rights to Kamen Rider, I would be adapting Zero One in a heartbeat. I would be adapting Zero One in a heartbeat. Common Writer says, I think Kevin is the only Dino Thunder actor who likes to be still likes to be associated with Power Rangers. You're probably right, Common. You're probably right. Datilla says, actually, I'm going back to where she came from, talking about California. I was born and raised here, been here all my life, but I have traveled. To move. I was looking into moving to Texas or Indiana. Well, listen, Datilla, everybody's moving from California to Texas. I can tell you that right now. So if you do want to make a move, I would certainly suggest Texas, whatever part you certainly feel comfortable in. Indiana, outside of our co-host Indy Uchiha, who joins us usually on our A Plus Hero Report channel. He lives in Indiana. Maybe I'll ask him some recommendations. Like, would you suggest if anybody were to move from California, would you suggest Indiana? What parts of Indiana would you suggest maybe perhaps moving to? If anything, I would be curious to know if anything, I would be curious to know as to what's drawing you to Indiana also. But the idea of moving to Texas, I think a lot of people from California are picking up their stuff, coming out here. I don't know why. I'm assuming maybe because just the cost of living is cheaper. I know that other big companies have moved a lot of their headquarters out here and stuff. You have a ton of cities to certainly choose from. Austin's pretty chill and weird and laid back, but yet very healthy. I feel like I feel like people are super just have a really interesting mindset when it comes to Austin, to say the least. But that still harbors a ton of college kids, I'm sure, and depends on what area you're in. San Antonio's cool. Houston's a lot further south. They usually deal with a ton of their own crap up there also. But I do like the DFW area. I'm really pleased with the area that I live in up here. Sam, he says, which one would you pick for a title for a Kamen Rider adaptations? Back as Masked Rider, stay as Kamen Rider, or Power Rider? I probably would stick with Masked Rider. I still like that term. AJ says, would you like to visit your brother in Japan once international travels are open back up? And if you have time, that is the plan right now for that is the plan right now for sometime next year. We would like to try and go out there. I know my mom has been telling us for a while that for her anniversary or her birthday, she wants to visit Japan. So we may be taking a family trip. If we do, I definitely will keep you guys posted. JB says, West is 600 in the colony. Good luck today. Yeah, I'm afraid to ask. It's probably about $1,200 for maybe like a 1-bedroom apartment out in the colony now. It would not surprise me. Adam Perea says, would you like to see Gokaiger come back in some form in the future? And do you think Super Mega Force was a great series? No, I do not think it was a great series. It had probably one of my worst Red Rangers ever. The redeeming quality really was Gia and Jake for me. And some aspects of the Legendary War, not all of it. But everything else for me, unfortunately, is a little bit forgetful. I would like to see Gokaiger come back in some form. Yeah, most definitely. It's my first Super Sentai season I ever watched, so I have a great attachment to that team. So anytime that I get to see them, it's like coming home. You know what I mean? It's great. AJ, do you think Jordan Fight will get his own unique morph call and sequence? How come Six Rangers don't get their own different morph? Last time was Antonio morph call wise. You know what, AJ? I'm gonna say yes. I think he might get his own unique morph call and sequence. I think he's been maybe doing things his own way, and so yeah, I do think that he will get his own sequence, morph call and sequence. We'll see what happens though, AJ. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling that now that you mention it. Is Indy really his name? No, it's not his. It's not his real name. That's not his real name. Yeah, Detail says everything happens in Texas, rarely in Cali. The first WWE shows back are in Texas. WrestleMania next year is in Texas. Yeah, I definitely would love to go to WrestleMania next year. I truly would. I was so glad that they decided to come back. You can fit over 100,000 fans in there, and Jerry Jones is going to try and cram people in there like sardines. So, unlike last year, though, I heard that there were issues at that WrestleMania because they promised 100-something thousand seats, and they definitely sold those amount of tickets. But when they actually went to WrestleMania, I heard that some of the seats weren't ready yet. Like they hadn't even finished building or like finished that section of the stadium or something like that. So some of the seats weren't available. So then they literally had to like get a bunch of extra chairs and like put it on the floor, on the arena floor, to accommodate some people. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, I definitely want to go. I definitely want to go this year. Everything happens in Texas. I mean, we do got some big names in Texas for sure. It's just such a big state. It's just it just really depends on how you deal with the idea of politics around here, really. But without going into politics on the show, I've enjoyed my time here, almost 20 years in Dallas. Haven't had really too many problems. I'm sure not everybody can certainly say that, but for what it is, I've enjoyed my time out here. Yeah, a lot of wrestlers and Ranger actors are from Texas. I watch a lot of UFC too. There are a lot of UFC fighters that come out of some of these areas out here, out of Texas, also. So, yeah, I'm just waiting. Like the one thing that I would love to see Dallas dabble in that they have not done so yet is I really want to see them really start growing some studios, some movie and TV studios out here. Granted, places like Georgia, I think, are maybe you get certain tax credits or something like that. Maybe same thing in California. I don't know what Dallas offers for the film and TV scene, but I really would love them to build out a much bigger studio that's recognizable for other studios like Warner Brothers and Disney and stuff to really start, shooting some of their stuff out here. But yeah, I think that's the one thing that's maybe missing from Dallas. But outside of that, nah. See, Datilla, you should just move out here, and then we can combine the power of your YouTube channel and my YouTube channel and rent out like maybe a studio itself and like put in all our equipment, form a team together, and just start doing some YouTube stuff out of a studio. Like if I can just get a handful of YouTubers or some people to move out to Texas, have some people on deck, you know what I mean? Put together some great stuff. I was always thought about trying to get a studio, but I haven't looked at seeing exactly how much something like that would cost and like what perks or what comes with it, so we'll see what happens. But all right, guys, I think other than that, I think that's going to do it for us here today. So thank you very much, guys, for certainly joining us for another episode of A Plus More Phenomenal every weekend, Saturday, live at noon Central Time. So thank you very much, guys, for definitely joining us. We certainly will be back later on this week. We definitely have our Toku Tuesday to certainly celebrate for you guys. I do have myself a Simon Bennett video that I'm going to be dropping, not an interview, but just talking in regards to the future of Power Rangers, if you will. So definitely look out for that. And then if any other news winds up dropping, we'll keep you guys posted. And of course, as always, rounding off the weekend here next weekend for you guys also. But other than that, that's going to go ahead and do it for us here. But in the meantime, guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do yourselves a favor. If you continue to like this content, hitting that thumbs up and that big like button certainly does go a long way. I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts into some of the articles that we certainly talked about. If you haven't had this time to share your thoughts in the live chat, definitely go ahead and leave a comment for this video. It definitely goes a long way. And if you want to go ahead and continue to support the channel in other ways, we definitely do have ourselves a Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/A+opinions. You can see all of our early access and exclusive content that we have to the channel, not just for our Power Ranger fans on A+ More Phenomenal, but also for you Marvel, DC, and movie fans for A+ Hero Report as well. You get to share in that content as well. So definitely go ahead and check it out, patreon.com/A+opinions. But if for some reason, if you can't help us out monetarily to go ahead and continue to keep the lights on around here, helping out definitely goes a long way by subscribing to the channel and leaving comments and likes. So other than that, guys, that's going to do it for us here. If you want to follow us on social media, right here at A+opinions, very active over on our Twitter page, along with our main page in our Facebook page. And you can also check us out over on Instagram as well as Twitch for you gamers. But until next time, guys, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.